You didn't even make it a full month in the UFC. You're out July 13th, 2002. You're out in London. Matt Hughes is fighting Carlos Newton. You're out there with Matt Hughes, part of his entourage in his corner. And why don't you describe what took place?
Pat, our gracious coach Pat stepped aside so Matt could fight for the title against Carlos Newton instead of Pat and Carlos having a rematch, if my memory serves correct. So Matt was fighting Carlos Newton, and great finish to the fight. We're there with I had a bunch of friends from London that I was hanging out with, and a bunch of fighters and friends from London, and our Milicic team, and those locals went to the China Moon Club after the after party, and we're all just so happy that Matt won, and we're talking about what an amazing team we are, how we always have each other's backs. Meanwhile, we're just getting lit up, really, really, really drunk. No one ate much. We're there at Wembley Arena and Royal Albert Hall at like 2 p.m. for the event. Show up, and then we didn't leave there till like 10 p.m. Then we ended up going to the club right from the venue. We had some hors d'oeuvres and stuff, but everyone's not really good. We're not really full tummy and hydrated, and just a big recipe for disaster. By the end of the night, there's a huge brawl. I got blamed for that whole thing, and ended up staying a couple of days later in England, and with my friends. And when I went home, Monty called me and said, "What happened at the fight?" I said, "You saw the fight. Matt won." He goes, "No, the fight after the fight." And I said, I go, "What are you talking about? How do you know about that?" He goes, "Tony, everybody knows that. They're calling it the punch heard around the world, dude. They're trying to kick you out of the UFC." I go, "What?" He goes, "Yes, dude, what happened?" So I go, "We got in a fight after the club with Tito Ortiz and Lee." I didn't get it. I was trying to break stuff up. I didn't punch anyone. He's like, "Tony, they're saying you started the whole thing." I'm like, "Well," and so I'm like, he's like, "When you get home, when you get this is like at the airport, I see my phone's blowing up." So at Moline, Illinois. So when you get home, call me, and we got to go to Vegas, dude. So we went down and talked to Dana White, and he said, "You're going to be someone's in trouble. Someone's in trouble. Our poster boy just got beat up."
Wait. So in essence, what took place is Lee Murray hits Tito Ortiz in the alley.
Tito attacked Lee, and Lee retaliated and beat him up. Yeah.
Okay, so Tito was the catalyst behind it. So you fly to Vegas afterwards.
Yeah.
Do you meet with like Hunter Campbell, Dana White?
No, Dana Fertitas had it back then. So, right, I think Dana was there, and he just not everything is your problem. I go, they're sliding over the car. We had asked for film footage. Monty had asked for film footage of the alleyway that shows nothing. It shows Chuck Liddell hitting people. It shows other people hitting people, grabbing people. Because anyone that came near people was like a hair trigger. Chuck's like, "Don't fucking touch me! Don't touch me!" Everyone's drunk. I'm running around trying to break it up and stop people from hitting people. Finally, the cops tell me and Pat Miletich to leave. But then the report that the UFC got was that Tito told them that Pat Miletich and I started it. We stole a taxi cab. Pat was driving and drove over Tito's friend Damien's arm, and you're like, "What?" Or his friend Bo's arm. It's just like the two little guys, Bo, Damien. I always get confused all the time, but it's it just sucks. I really thought I thought I was getting ready to fight a couple good fights. I thought I had like Evan Tanner and a couple guys lined up. Baroni was like on my hit list. Like,
well, let's walk this just a little bit slower. So, what does Dana and the Fertitas say to you? What was the conversation?
I mean, I barely remember. I was in tears. I couldn't believe it was happening. It shows me trying to like the camera stuff in the alley shows nothing. Of me trying to do anything. I slid over the car like Bo Duke and grabbed the kid around the neck, told him break it up. That's my coach, and then that was the end of my physical. And then Lee Murray's bodyguard came up, Paul Allen, and hit Tito's friend. Tito saw him fall to the ground, didn't see who hit him. So when Tito came out, Tito attacked Lee Murray because Lee laughed. Lee laughed when the guy got punched. But we had bodyguards with us because Lee Murray's team had made sure we're taken care of. And he's got some bodyguards that takes care of him and his other people that don't necessarily fight. They're just there as bodyguards. So they just, so we were under there when we're in London. Because Lee Murray trained with us. He trains with the Milicic guys when he's in the US. So
he was with the London Shoot Fighters, and then at this period of time, he was training with you guys. So you guys had a pretty good relationship with him.
We had an amazing relationship. Yeah. So it's like, so again, he's part of the team. We're all celebrating, and he's told folks make sure these guys are watched out for, watch their back, shit like that. So when fights happen, and they thought Pat was getting choked out. I thought Pat was getting choked out. Me and the bodyguard went to break it up. I thought I had broken it up just fine because I recognized the kid. And then all of a sudden, the bodyguard, my friend Paul Allen, all of a sudden destroys a guy. And then just a huge fight erupted with Tito coming out and seeing what happened and not knowing who did it, but seeing Lee laugh at him. He went after Lee, and Lee pieced him up with a nice 5-piece combination, and the place just erupted. And I thought it was all my fault. I was telling the front lobby at the hotel, it's my fault. Just have everyone go to bed. I'm trying to let everyone know it was my fault. I was calling my manager, shit like that. But next thing you know, 3 days later, I thought everyone was cool, so I didn't hear anything. I stayed in London, hung out, and got back to the States. And then the shit hit the fan. And then when we're in the office, they said, they said it was my third strike. Dana said to me. He said, I do remember. He goes, that's your third strike. And I do remember him saying, he goes, you're so much like me, it kills me. And I go, well, then what the fuck? Then I have a good heart. I'm trying to fucking do everything right. I'm sticking up for the company. Exact words. Because I remember I try to block it all the time. That, like, my dad would always say, hey, what are you two knuckleheads doing over there? You gonna fucking jump off this bridge over here? Get the fuck back here. Those other kids want to do it, go let them do it. You get back here. You're my two kids. Get over here. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like when I saw shit going down in the UFC, like at after parties or something like that, I go, hey, guys, knock it off. We're all going to get in trouble. Because we just started traveling. I felt like we're a big traveling circus like WWE. We were not, but I felt like it.
Hey, it's the G-Man. I'm the original ring announcer from the first 10 UFCs, and you are listening to the Lights Out MMA History Podcast.
If you're coming on, come on.
Joey's going to kick your fucking ass.